Hello. Hi. Welcome. I want to share something. I was inspired by someone else's open letter to their narcissist ex, their abusive ex, and I wanted to share mine. I'm a creative and I process things creatively sometimes. So here we go. I wish I understood what your sister meant when she looked at you and said, "Don't taint her." But her watercolor portrait was already painted with brushes far overdue for a cleaning. I'm sure your picture of me isn't painted as well. Details added that weren't quite there and skewed colors reflecting the mastery of your craft. What a layered portrait you create. Captivating audiences with your truth, winning hearts, and the validation you couldn't self produce. They'll never know it's built on lies. You're masterfully skilled at creating imagery, even wearing a mask for years to come. You never took all of it off, though. It fell, piece by piece, never all at once. Never enough to show the full spectrum of true colors in your palette, missing pieces filled in with clay formed over excuses and adhered with gold. And the viewers won't know, because the art is to be seen, not touched. Real introduced itself to you and broke down its dissertation with cited sources, but you didn't trust it. Skeptic. Real showed its heart to you, held you as you wept, crushed your face as I wiped your tears. But somehow you thought my hands were make-believe. It's hard to believe anything is real when the components of the identity you wore for years were fabricated. Skeptic. You couldn't trust those close to you because you couldn't trust the closest thing to you. You could only see the world as calculated and cruel when you lived in a homemade equation. I never quite understood calculus. Paranoid. How you'd rest so much was a mystery to me, but it has to be exhausting planning mental Olympics to go down as smoothly as they did. So smooth, I didn't know I was a contender and came in dead last. It may seem like a unique talent, but it's actually common enough for it to have a diagnosis. There's almost something poetic about it. Your name and Narcissus both being wildly popular and often misspelled. I once admired your ability to rest so easily. It must have been tiring for me to do so much work without you ever really seeing me. Maybe your fatigue came from jumping to conclusions, causing confusion, and holding up a mask for so long when you only have two hands. What's it like to be fascinated with compulsive liars as a practicing one? Like when you said you never gaslit people before, when you covered up the horrific ways that you used loved ones, or when you'd hit up your ex for stolen moments and mention all of the other people you were conversing with. She clearly wasn't forgettable, so how'd that slip your mind? It's unique the way you skate away from the truth. Rolling past responsibility and transparency, your stealing went from tangible to something the eyes could not see but my soul could feel. It's the stuff of faith even though you don't belong to one. What's it like to skate away from the integrity that's been chasing you? Wouldn't you like to know how it feels to be real? To be transparent? I figured you out some time ago. You told me exactly who you were, just for the complaints that you had about everyone else. You boasted about being direct, and I believed it, but mumbled clues for me to put together one and two. I didn't realize that you were telling me how you treat me when you were talking about the things that people did to hurt or disgust you. The accusations were your confessional, the lies, the partition. In plain sight. That's the best place to hide something. I figured out the messages behind your masterpiece, you artist. I figured out the ways you used me and showed me a new portrait when I got too close to the painting. Don't touch the art. Our last conversation was a symphony I was ill prepared for. My sheet music a reflection of my heart and the conversation days before we'd practiced. But you changed the song on stage with no warning. Calculated. I searched my pages but couldn't find what you were looking for. There was no new girl, there was no secret or omission. The only thing I could find was confusion. All by design. You built a story to feel better and spread misinformation. The skeptic spreads lies. Is that irony? What a conductor. And you said you weren't an artist? Building stories and situations so you feel better about how you cruelly yanked the curtain and defended it so coldly. Needing time to communicate effectively was a sin for me to be punished without the empathy and respect I thought you'd like to receive. You're right. I should have known not to bring emotion as a plus one to the gallery. Robots model empathy well now. You're falling behind in the times. It makes sense that you and AI got along so well. You found someone to relate to, someone to keep in your pocket and use. At least it's built for rewiring when you discard it for something new. I'd feel bad about it all too. No, two requires more than one. What's it like to have nobody around you know the truth of who you are or what you've done? To have all of these connections and be honest with none. You want it to be seen. I see you. And now that we don't speak, I know you. Nobody around you will, though. And when they do, it'll be too late. You'll have taken what you wanted from them, leaving them with the scraps, and still claim they didn't give you enough. How selfish of them. Your void has no bottom, and hosts, loves, will always wonder why they're never quite full. You don't believe in karma because it looks like people get away unscathed. But maybe karma isn't something bad happening as a debt unpaid. Maybe karma is having people close to you, even laying next to someone special for years, to only have them love you at the surface because you haven't told them who you really are. Maybe it's living a life of paranoia and mistrust disguised as free thinking while you hold onto the dirty secrets that will blow your cover. Maybe it's not really being able to trust anything or anyone because you aren't who you say you are. Maybe it's feeling so disgusted with you that you create deflections and chaos to feel better about who you are because the evil little girl you banished never left the vessel. You wore the things that hurt you for so long and they fit just right. If I'd known sharing my light meant getting robbed, I would have thought twice. I spoke of us breaking cycles, but yours was the one that we repeated. It just unfolded so seamlessly that I had to be away from you to see it. Your exhibit will continue to expand with portraits of each new supply. I just hope that they're able to find themselves when the contents you've smeared have dried. Don't taint them. Don't taint them. Don't dip your sick tricks into their pleasance and mellows. Their vibrance is to be viewed from afar from those who admire it because the art is to be seen, not touched. Okay,